Hey guys, if you're totally burned out by the post-apocalyptic survival genre like I am, Once Human is a game that might just surprise you and inject some much-needed new life into the scene. On a massive island infected by a Lovecraftian plague called Stardust, this game is doing things differently. The overwhelmingly positive beta impressions give us some confidence. Heavy on status micromanagement. For those who get stressed at the sight of status meters, this game might not be for you. Once Human features 5 persistent status meters that you must track at all times in order to survive. For instance, water infected by Stardust will deplete your sanity and cap your overall health. Great, another game like Ark where I die fast because I forgot to eat. Cosmic horror. Post-apocalyptic games have been everywhere, but I don't remember seeing one with full-on cosmic horror like Once Human. The world is tainted with an evil alien plague called Stardust, putting a unique spin on all the familiar survival elements. Unique enemies. Harvesting materials requires more caution since Stardust-infected materials drain your sanity level. Instead of the boring zombies, the basic enemies are thalls, infected by Stardust. It's refreshing to see a new take on the apocalyptic survival genre. Crazy boss designs. Every single boss design they've shown so far has looked unique. The horrifying Arxium Deviant is pure nightmare. A giant black widow with an open ribcage lined with black spikes and a scary skull. The Wanderer is a giant bus that takes players across vast swaths of land, but with a catch. Then there are the 40 or so deviations, which are companion monsters you capture after defeating their bigger deviant siblings. Not all of the monstrosities are hostile in Once Human, but they all exhibit unique designs. Bus mechanic. The Wanderer is a deviant who merged with a bus, serving as a mode of transit for players across the Ensiat continent. The fun part is that this deviant bus is often occupied by fellow players looking for a ride and infected monsters alike, making it a hotspot for mingling, foraging, and fighting. Stardust Integration. Every gameplay element is tied to the Stardust plot thread. Stardust affects what you drink, the various forms of infected wildlife, and even your own powers as a metahuman. Drinking infected water and food depletes your sanity meter, which in turn marginally cuts your max HP. An interesting fact is, the majority of foes you'll fight against are manifestations of Stardust. Yeah, you go crazy in this game. Single-player campaign. Once Human isn't just a multiplayer experience. There's a single-player story campaign and side missions on top of that. The core of the campaign revolves around helping the Mayfly faction mitigate the harm that the evil tech giant Rosetta has been spreading with its experimentation on Stardust. We don't know how long or involved the campaign is at the moment, but with lots of side missions and lore details nestled everywhere in the game, it's clear that the campaign story has a lot of thought put behind it. Robust base building. One of the best parts, at least for me, of any survival game is crafting structures. There's very little restriction on how large you want to go when building a house, for example. You can build a common home base for other players to lounge in and call home. You can relocate your buildings to different locations using the blueprint relocation feature. Of course, building stuff requires lots of resources, so you need to save up plenty of materials like wood and metal. Factions with different motives. There are 6 factions that we currently know about, each with their own individual allegiances and goals. Each faction calls a different region of the map home, so if you never go to the snowy Arkham region in the north, you may never encounter the column. The choices are yours, and time will tell if killing certain bosses releases a group of crazy cultists after you or not. Intriguing 50-player PvP mode. Stronghold Contest is clearly poised to be Once Human's long-term PvP mode. Players compete for resources by claiming territories and then expanding them. Together with up to 50 other players, you can then attack other territories and defend your own, eventually enacting territory wars. All these activities are done in large groups called hives, which have their own rank and seasonal progression. It's worth pointing out that you can opt to quietly build on territories without being raided by others, since territory wars are exclusive to the Stronghold Contest PvP mode. Co-op dungeons and zone bosses. Once Human has a typical PvE raid structure. You team up with other players to traverse the dungeon and then fight the large boss at the end. Large world map. With a size of 16 by 16 kilometers, 10 real-life miles, this large size is needed to fill all of the housing creations that players will inevitably make. The map is divided across 4 districts, each with distinct biomes. What's even crazier is the devs stating that each server can house up to 5,000 players divided between 6 different instances of the map. Each district on the island features a unique environmental biome. Vehicle crafting and customization. Once Human takes place on the island of Ensat, divided between the Blackfell Desert in the east, the snowy Arkham Mountain Range in the north, the Great Plains in the west, and the Stardust Epicenter at the island's center city. The heavily infected city center can only be accessed after completing certain preliminary tasks, making it suitable for endgame content. The variety of terrain spread across the map allows the use of various vehicle types. Motorbikes are ideal for the challenging vertical terrain of mountain passes, and the Western Plains are no match for your camper RV. Yeah, that's right. Instead of a stationary house, you can opt to build an RV for your mobile home unit. Positive closed beta responses. I was surprised when I researched this game and found little to no threads complaining about game-breaking bugs or horrible issues plaguing the beta versions of the game. Don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.